Trump lands in Alaska for summit with Putin, says he wants ceasefire today. Alaska, August 15. Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump arrived in Alaska on Friday for his high-stakes summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin after saying he wants to see a ceasefire in the war in Ukraine today. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy, who was not invited to the talks, and his European allies feared Trump might sell out Ukraine by essentially freezing the conflict and recognizing, if only informally, Russian control over one-fifth of Ukraine. Trump sought to assuage such concerns as he boarded Air Force One, saying he would let Ukraine decide on any possible territorial swaps. "I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine, I'm here to get them at a table," he said. Asked what would make the meeting a success, he told reporters, "I want to see a ceasefire rapidly. I'm not going to be happy if it's not today. I want the killing to stop." Trump is expected to greet Putin upon the Russian leader's arrival. Then, the two presidents are due to meet at an Air Force base in Alaska's largest city at around 11 a.m., 19 o'clock GMT, for their first face-to-face talks since Trump returned to the White House. Trump will be joined in his meeting with Putin by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Trump's special envoy to Russia, Steve Witkoff. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said. At the subsequent larger, bilateral meeting, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Chief of Staff Susie Wiles will also join, Leavitt said. Trump hopes a truce in the 3.5-year-old war. The dead Trump will be joined in his meeting with Putin by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Trump's special envoy to Russia, Steve Witkoff, White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said. At the subsequent larger, bilateral meeting, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Chief of Staff Susie Wiles will also join, Leavitt said. Trump hopes a truce in the 3.5-year-old war, the deadliest in Europe since World War II, will bring peace to the region as well as bolster his credentials as a global peacemaker worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize. For Putin, the summit is already a big win that he can portray as evidence that years of Western attempts to isolate Russia have unraveled and that Moscow is retaking its rightful place at the top table of international diplomacy. Russian Special Envoy Kirill Dmitriev described the pre-summit mood as combative and said the two leaders would discuss not only Ukraine but the full spectrum of bilateral relations, Russia's RIA news agency reported. Trump, who once said he would end Russia's war in Ukraine within 24 hours, conceded on Thursday it had proven a tougher task than he had expected. He said if Friday's talks went well, quickly arranging a second, three-way summit with Zelensky would be even more important than his